Good evening, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Monica, and I'm from Atma Jaya Catholic University of Indonesia. I'm a Bachelor of English Language Education. Today, I will present about my journal article, which the title is The Correlation Between Listening Anxiety and Vocabulary Knowledge, a Case Study. So let's start the presentation and I will share the screen. Here is the title. Now we will start from the introduction. So listening skills are difficult to learn. Why? Because the main point that makes the listening skills are difficult to learn is the short attention span. When students have short attention span, they will have the tendency to pause and do something for a while, like drinking water, stretching, and looking out the window. Middendorf and Kalish state that listeners will readily renew their attention when the presentation includes frequent breaks in pacing. Florideau, Weber-Gammer, Weber and Carter and Gilmore stated that the sound of words, intermittent sounds, unwritten words, and rhythm are the possible causes of the problem. These facts make learners feel anxious when they have some listening task. So, various studies have been conducted related to listening anxiety. There are two researchers recording according to this listening anxiety. First one is Gonen, states that students' anxiety is caused by things such as the material that is difficult to understand, noises, and problems with the audio. Carcella, the second one is Carcella, Oxford, Berkeley, Underwood, and Kenworthy. They investigated the relation between listening anxiety and factors that influencing learners' anxiety. One of the factors that influence listening anxiety, as measured by those researchers, is insufficient vocabulary knowledge. Richard and Rogers stated that vocabulary is an obstacle of language learning and causes an assumption that there must be a strong correlation between vocabulary knowledge and learners' anxiety. So, the goal of the study is to investigate the learners' listening anxiety and the correlation between listening anxiety and vocabulary knowledge. Now, let's continue. Now, we will discuss about the methodology. First part, we will discuss about the theoretical framework. There are two theoretical frameworks in terms of this study: listening anxiety and vocabulary knowledge. Or in terms of listening anxiety, the author used a theory from Gonen. And in terms of vocabulary knowledge, the author used the theory Chen, Schmidt with Clapham, Mogadam, Zainal, Kadapur, and also nation and worry. The assumption of this study is if students have high listening, high vocabulary knowledge, they will have low listening anxiety, and vice versa. If students have low vocabulary knowledge, they will have high listening anxiety. Now we will discuss about the research methodology. In terms of the participants, there were 35 students of English Education Department at Atma Jaya Catholic University of Indonesia, consisted of 21 female participants and 14 male participants. There were 29 students who are taking listening and speaking in academic context this semester, and 6 students who took listening and speaking in academic context last semester. In terms of data, the data that used in the study are the responses of the listening anxiety questionnaire, the scores of the vocabulary knowledge, and the last one was the responses of the interview question. In terms of the research instruments, there are 3 instruments: listening anxiety questionnaire, vocabulary knowledge test, and interview questions. The listening anxiety questionnaire were adapted by him. Vocabulary knowledge tests were also adapted from Schmidt and Clapham, and interview questions were also adapted from him. The listening anxiety questionnaire consisted of 22 items with 5 points of like Likert scale ranging from 1 to 5. 1, strongly disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. The vocabulary knowledge test also consists of 4 sections. First one is definition section, second spelling section, third one is pronunciation section, and the last one is meaningful section. In terms of data collection processes, there are 3 stages. First one is the author organized and put all the instruments at Google Forms. Second one, the author distributed all the instruments to the students through Line and WhatsApp group chat, and also interviewed students randomly. The last one is the author who collected all the data of listening anxiety questionnaires in Microsoft Excel and counted the score of vocabulary knowledge test. In terms of data analysis procedures, there are also 3 stages. First one is counted the score of the listening anxiety questionnaire by using McCarthy method. Second one, put the scores of listening anxiety questionnaire and vocabulary knowledge test in SPSS. And the last one is analyze the interview questions by using the method from Files and Huberman. Now let's continue. Now we will discuss about findings and discussion. In terms of the findings, the findings that students have high listening anxiety and there is a low correlation between listening anxiety and vocabulary knowledge. The findings itself were also supported by the interview results. Let's see the table first. This one is a table that explains the correlation between listening anxiety and vocabulary knowledge. As you can see, the Pearson correlation, and also the significant total force, and then this one is the amount of this participant. Like this. Now let's continue. And this is the result of the interview as it supported the findings of the study. As you can see that most of the students have high listening anxiety. Both of them also said that vocabulary knowledge can be the cause of listening anxiety. See, and for this one, it is for the first question. And the second one, it is also for the first question, and this one is the second question. And in terms of the first question asks them whether they have the experience about listening anxiety or not. And the second question is the vocabulary the main factor that influences listening anxiety? Let's continue. Now we will discuss about the discussion. The findings of the study happen because of many reasons. The findings happen because the vocabulary knowledge is just one of the factors that determine the student's listening anxiety. There are also the other factors that determine students' listening anxiety as well. Berkeley said that the other factors that determine students' listening anxiety were this: ease of delivery, poor enunciation, unfamiliar intonation, different accents. the length of the listening passage. Now let's continue. Now we will discuss about the conclusion and suggestion. For the summary of this study, it says that students have a high listening anxiety and a low correlation between listening anxiety and vocabulary knowledge. The meaning is vocabulary knowledge is not really the main factor that influence listening anxiety. There are the other factors such as listening material, pronunciation, teacher factors, student factors, and familiar accents, and many more. In terms of the suggestion, the study about the vocabulary knowledge that's caused by the listening anxiety that's caused by vocabulary knowledge and the listening anxiety that's caused by the other factors such as material, speech delivery, listening text characteristics, and the clarity of the material should be done separately, so the results will be accurate. There also should be a research about listening anxiety and the correlation between listening anxiety and vocabulary knowledge from the perspective of students and teachers as well. Okay, that's the end of my presentation for today. I hope that what I just presented will be useful for you and you can use it in your daily life and your research life as well. And I would like to say thank you.